Hey everyone, this is Cliff Beach, and you're listening to Deeper Grooves, Musicians on Music, sponsored by California Soul Music record label. Today I had the pleasure of talking with a blues legend, Bobby Rush, all about his latest album, Rawer Than Raw, which you can find out now everywhere. Please help me welcome the legendary, incomparable Bobby Rush.
Hello, this is Bobby.
Bobby Rush speaking.
Hello, Bobby. This is Cliff Beach calling from Deeper Grooves.
Hey, my friend, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I feel like a champ, man.
Oh, that's great, man. That's really great to hear.
Thank you. You ready to do a little interview? You call me for an interview, or you just calling me to holler at me?
I'm calling you for an interview. We're going to...
All right. You got me then.
Review all your stuff. Yeah, I wanted to get a better audio recording for the podcast that we're going to put up, and so we're going to record it again. We got everything all set up, recording you in two places, so we'll make sure we capture everything.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that, man. We need all the help we can get, especially at a time like this, you know.
We definitely do. So I wanted to chat about your latest record, Rawer Than Raw. I know that you recorded this mostly on your own, and so what's the difference between this and some of your other records?
I don't think it's nothing that is stripped down. On a lot of the other records, I had more musicianship on them because more instruments because it's a band. This time it's stripped down. Raw. I've been raw. It's raw. I mean, raw means nothing around it, just me, myself, and I. My guitar, my hand, my feet, or my big fingers and big feet, and that was it, man. And the harmonica, and a lot of guys thinking about that was somebody else playing with me. That's just me on guitar, man. It's only overdub I had was with the harmonica thing, because a lot of things I couldn't play and sing it, but everything else was one take down. If I missed it, I missed it. If I got it, I got it. Wasn't no overdub. Let's do it over. None of that. You know, what you see is what you get. It wasn't all that. Let's do another take. Wasn't none of that, man. One take. If you had it, you had it. If you didn't, you didn't. You know?
That's the old school approach. You have to do it in a live situation, do or die. You just get the one take.
That's right. That's why I come in back in the chest days in 51, 52. A lot of time, man, when the band was out playing, it wasn't if the guitar player messed up now, you can just take him out and later on you can come do the guitar part. But back in the day, if one messed up, everybody messed up. You have to do it over, you know. But this take wasn't nobody ever me, so whatever you see is a one-take deal. That's what you got, you know?
All right, and that's what we expect from Bobby Rush, nothing left. So, Bobby, let's talk about your origins. So you're an amazing guitar player and bluesman, the singer. You're originally from Arkansas. Your dad was a pastor, and he played a little guitar and harmonica. But you started out with a sugar cane, syrup bucket, and a broom-wired diddly bow. So how did you get into music?
Well, let me straighten up. I'm born in Louisiana.
Okay.
In 1947, my dad moved to Arkansas in 1947, and I moved with him as a preacher and a son of his. And for that, I went to Chicago. But I was born in Louisiana, raised in Arkansas, and lived in Chicago 40-some odd years, and now in Jackson, Mississippi. So I'm just a southern kind of a guy, you know, and raised hog, cows, chicken, and everything. So that's kind of set that record straight on that. So I made my first guitar with a broom wire, you know, with a broom, like off a broom that you sweep the floor with. Mm-hmm. The wire come off the broom, and I put it up beside the wall with one string, you know. But I put it up on the wall at the beginning. I put a brick at the top and a bottle at the bottom to get this weird sound. So one day the brick fell out and hit me in the head, so I reversed it, the brick at the bottom and the ball at the top. Then I got another kind of sound. Instead of sounding like Elmo Jane, I thought it would sound like Willie Dixon with wang, dang, doodle all night long, and get that down, which goes a bottle, you know. Mm-hmm. So I learned how to play that thing pretty good, and then I got me a juice harp and started playing that, and then finally my cousin gave me a guitar, and my daddy showed me how to tune it, and that's it, and the rest of it history, you know.
And what did your daddy show you on the guitar? What was the first song you heard?
Oh, my daddy being a preacher, it was a tune called Shanky Pen Hunting. Shanky Pen is something look like a pecan, you know, a pecan tree. And he said to me as a preacher, he wanted to sing this song to me, and something he used to sing to a little girl when he was a little older. Well, I thought he was going to sing about my mama. I used to sing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah, our gospel song. But he said, me and my gal went to Chinky Pin hunting. She fell down and I saw something. Man, what did he say that for? And I could just imagine in my mind what he saw if the girl fell down. But I wanted to ask my daddy what he saw, and being a little 6, 7, 8-year-old kid, I couldn't ask my daddy what he saw. I said, Daddy, sing it again. What I wanted my daddy to do is to sing the next verse, because I know the first verse, she fell down, he saw something. So I figured in my little mind, the second verse going to explain what he saw. So I said, Dad, my mom was in the kitchen cooking. She was in the kitchen cooking. And I said, Dad, how big was she? He said, 350 pounds or something like that. That's down there 400. I said, God, Lee. I said, what's she had on? He said, nothing but a dress. Now, in my little mind, a fat lady falling down with nothing on but a dress. Man, I wish I could saw that, man. I just could see that. And probably at that big, it'd be a lot to see. Man, in my little mind, you know. but I never know what he never told me anything else. But when my mama broke it up, she looked around one day. He said, me and my gal went to take it, my mama showed up. He looked at my mom. He said, she fell down, and I kept running. So he cleaned it up when my mama was coming, you know. So I don't know what it would have been. But anyway, my daddy put me on. So right then, at that age, I knew I wanted to be a blues singer. I want to be the John Lee Hooker, the Muddy Water. Right then, from that song, you know.
Well, that's definitely an interesting story, and I can see how that shapes your storytelling and your music. Do you see a parallel between preaching versus performing on the stage? Do you see any? No,
I see similar, the same kind of thing. You know, Saturday night, most of the guys talk about baby, and Sunday morning they talk about Jesus. Now, I see it's so close to being the same kind of a thing. You know, what I feel and talk about, dancing and whatever, and on Sunday morning you're praising God for whatever you believe in, Jesus, God, and the thing that you believe in spiritually. So I believe, I'm a believer also, but I believe in having fun also, you know. And fun to me is when you're singing the blues. And this all I know. That's all I know, you know. And the same people you see on Saturday night is the same people you see on Sunday morning. The reason I know because I'm a blues singer and I see that, you know. I see people on Sunday morning that I saw Saturday night in the clubs, you know, and the juke joints or whatever. Not everyone, but a lot of them, you know.
Sure. Sometimes they still have the same clothes on.
You said that. I didn't say that. Yeah, but you're right, man. You're funny, man. You're right. I hadn't thought about it, but I laughed because it's so true. It's so true. It's so true.
Well, I love your storytelling. You had a huge breakout hit in 1971. Your song "Chicken Head." I saw that it was also in the Black Snake Moan soundtrack for Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, how did you come to write that song?
I wrote the song and recorded in 1968. That's when it happened. It just didn't hit the charts until 1970, 71. Mm-hmm. But I cut it in 68. And that was a hard song for me to do because Calvin Carter, who was BJ Record at the time, and I had this song. He said, Bobby Rush, I've been wanting to record you for a long time, but you got to come up with 2 songs, man, so I can record you. I said, I have the song. He said, what's the name of it? I said, Chick Head. So that was a friend of his with him that was a Jehovah's Witness preacher. So he said, oh, no, we can't cut no record, man. Chick Head. You mean? I said, I don't mean Chick Head. He said, where you from, Bobby Rush? I said, I'm from down south. He said, oh, yeah, y'all eat chicken heads down south. And he laughed about it because he thought being a country boy, he said, chicken head. He said, how'd the record go? I said, Daddy told me on the dying bed, give up your heart, but don't you lose your head. You came along good. What did I do? I lost my heart and my head, too, which had nothing to do with chicken. So I figured, well, it's, yeah, we can do this song, but we need a B-side. I said, I got a B-side. So what is it, Bobby Rush? I said, Mary Jane. He said, oh, yeah, man, I had a girl named Mary Jane, did me wrong. And I wasn't talking about a girl at all. You know, I was talking about reefer, getting high. So I think I got two guys here that didn't know what I was talking about with the reefer thing, and here's a guy that didn't know what I was talking about with the chicken head. I said, man, I got me somebody they don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so I can push this over their head. So the record was big. Nobody knew what I was talking about but the young hip cats, young guys like you. You know what I was talking about, chicken heads,
All right. Yeah, we definitely know.
Yeah, but anyway, that was my first big gold record. But since that time, I had many gold records. I've been up for Blues Award 33 times, I think, and I won 17 or 18 of them. Been up for Grammy 5 times and won one of them, but I've been nominated 4 other times, and the time I won. I'm so happy and so thankful who I am, and I'm grateful for the time that I had in this business. God have allowed me to be recorded now for 68 years, and I have 397 records.
Ooh, almost to 400. And so when you won that Grammy for Best Traditional Blues Album a couple of years ago for Porcupine Meat, how did that feel, like accepting that award?
Oh, God, I can't find words to tell you how I feel. I know that I'm so thankful for what it is. I know it was late in the game, but it's better late than never, And my attitude was, if I didn't win, if I was in the race, I'm still a winner, because if I'm nominated, I'm a winner, because just being in the race, And I was beat out by some great musicians, some great talented performances and artists. So sometimes when you get beat out by the big artists like that, it's just good to be beat out by big famous guys, But nevertheless, I figured I was in a position a few times before that to win, because I had the record sales. But most of the time I had what they call chitlin second records, and they wouldn't count as much as I did with the record that I won the Grammy on, It's kind of crossroad kind of thing. But I always tried to maintain myself as a black man, as a black musician, as a blues man. Now, I want to cross over to a white audience, but I didn't want to cross out. And I always tried to maintain that and watch what I was doing, what I'm saying, make sure I didn't do that. That's why they call me the king of the chitlin circuit.
Right. Well, that's a tightrope. That's a delicate balance you have to keep to be able to.
And it's hard, and it's so hard, man. It's so hard. I have a record out now, Raw than Raw, and there's something I had back in the can. I had plenty of songs like this already cut back in the can. What I did, that's the way I write, that's the way I record all of my records. Then when I take these, what do we call raw cut records, acoustic records, I take them to the studio and I add other musician parts to them, like the organ, the horn, the horns, and whatever. But initially, I cut these records and write these songs just me and my guitar. That's the way I write, just me and my guitar. And I'm full of that kind of stuff. So this ain't new to me coming with something like Raw. It's just that a lot of time in the past, it wasn't commercial enough, especially for the black radio, and they didn't recognize me or want me to do this kind of thing. It seemed like it wasn't catching on. I didn't get the outplay. But now, the black black radio and the black DJs are really into it now, because they respect who I am, where I come from, and I'm the last of the kind to do this kind of thing, because we don't have the Muddy Water and Howlin' Wolf and B.B. King anymore longer with us. Guys that I looked up to, we don't have them. Johnny Hooker, people like that, we don't have them anymore. So we have a few guys who do an acoustic thing, but even if they're younger guys, they got to do cover kind of a thing, because it's not original. Although I did some cover thing, but I did that because I want to recognize a guy from Mississippi. That's why I want to do that. Now, living in Mississippi, I want to do some things that I listened to when I came up, the guys I respected, and where I got my grip from, with the Howlin' Wolf, the Muddy Water, B.B. King, and all these guys who were just a little bit older than I. And I want to show my appreciation by doing some of the things that they did and they stood for.
Right, and you came up in the early 50s and knew a lot of these players, Elmore James and Etta James and Muddy Waters,
God,
Howlin' Wolf and all those people, and did some stuff with Chess as well. back in the day.
Well, yeah, but when Etta Jane came to town, I'm the one picked up in a cab and brought her to Ralph Babb, who's at Chess, who was A&R for Leonard and Field Chess. I'm the one picked up and brought her to Chess. Yeah, I mean, I was there when I went to Chess. Etta Jane wasn't there then. Harlan Wood wasn't there to 58 or something, like 59 maybe. Could have been close to 60. But when he came there, he was doing some recording in Memphis and sent it to Leonard Chess in Chicago. But when I came there, Muddy Water was there. Harlan Wood wasn't there yet, but Willie Dixon and Jimmy Reed, Lil Walter, Jelly Hooker, Smokey Hall, Bo Diddley, people like that, Pine Top Perkins, all these guys was there then. And I came up around most of these guys. Elmo James was back and forward there, and Bobby Bland wasn't there, but he was back and forward. He was in Houston, living in Memphis, but recording in Houston. He and Junior Parker, you know. And I came up just a few years behind that, you know. Little Walter was living on Troy, 1229 Troy. I lived at 1224 Albany, which is back-to-back street. I walk out of my back door to Little Walter back door. And that's where we lived at all the time in Chicago. You know, so I was very close to him as friends and very close to him as a musician. Got close to Muddy Water. And I didn't spend that much time with Harlan Wolf like I did with Muddy Water and Alpha King and B.B. King. But I did spend a lot of time and around them after the fact. But early in my life, I spent a lot of time around Muddy Waters.
Oh, nice. And so when you were around all of them and at Chess, how was it, you know, at that time being a black artist and working with a white-owned label like Chess?
That was a tough time when I look back at it now. But at the time I was doing it, I was a good time because all I knew was around them, and the advantage of that, I didn't know anything else but that. Because when I worked in Blue Island, Illinois, back in the early 50s, we worked behind a curtain many times where it was a white audience where we wanted to hear our music and didn't want to see our face. That's why we were behind the curtain. But there were many places, there was a lot of places like that. But there were many places we could not go. There were many water fountains we could not drink at. There were many hotels we could not go in because we were black. And it seemed to be normal at the time because most places were like that, you know?
Right. And did you feel that you were treated fairly with Chess and Leonard Chess and those guys?
With them, no, I wasn't treated fair. No, not they weren't either. But I got treated pretty badly, not just from the musician, not just from the record standpoint, but the guy who worked for the record company. And some of them guys wasn't white guys. Some of them guys were black guys. Mm-hmm. Some of them guys were black guys that is like a field guy, like they were close to the white guy, and they used the black guy to do bad things to the black guys, so they wouldn't have to lay hands on them. So they had to pick black guys to do things damaging to the black guys.
And do you think that's why eventually you started your own thing?
Yeah, that's why I started my own thing, because a black guy was in position. It's almost like program director. Program director were programming black radio and black music, but they were told by their boss, who was white men, what to do and what not to do. And the white guy didn't tell you personally. He would tell the program director what to do and what not to do with the black guy. So it looked like the black guy was the bad guy.
And a lot of the clubs and stuff, you know, there was a lot of mob stuff going on during that time too.
Oh God, man, I've been in many places where the Al Capone days, where we'd be sitting in the bar and the man would come in and collect his money or whatever they collected under the table. Why they wouldn't bother us as customers, but they would shake down the place itself. And when I saw that many times in my career. I remember one time Luther Allison, a blues player, his brother was playing with me one time, myself, Jimmy Reed, and all of that club on Costner Lounge in Chicago. The man come in and stuck the place up. Well, they didn't stick the place up. Come in, I guess they took the main money, but he didn't bother us as an artist. So Luther Allison, Grant Allison was his name, he was standing on the stage with me, and we stood there for about an hour. So he got tired. He said, I almost sat down. And when he sat down, there were 3 or 4 black guys in the audience got up with big pistols. We thought they was cussing, but they were with the sticker. They were making sure that we all did what we need to do. And when he sat down, they thought he was going for his gun. They stuck a gun clean through his one jaw, out the other jaw, clean through his mouth. Never forget that. That was Luther Allison's brother.
Wow.
Yeah, and Jimmy Reed was there, and I was there. We couldn't move for an hour, just sit. But they didn't bother nobody in the audience, Supposed to be quiet. They was dealing with the club owner. And after that, went on back to Boogaloo Woogity,
That's
but we saw that so many times. That was everybody know that was the mob coming to shake down, But they wouldn't bother the audience. They come to shake the club down. The owners of the club or managers of the club, whatever they were doing back in the back room, they come with the bag, put the money in, whatever. They with the sheen going across the shoulder. They going out the building. They wouldn't bother. And they turn the jukebox back on or put the band back on the stage. We go on book it because they wouldn't bother us. I had that to happen several times in the club back in the day.
And you had to start your own thing because I know it was hard for black musicians to have ownership of their records, especially working with Jeff and the unions and things like that. It was hard as well, correct?
Yeah, it was always hard to own your own masters and everything. But I was lucky enough and blessed enough to be in a position to own a lot of my masters, I think part of it because they thought I was in with the Capone boys. And the next thing, they thought it wouldn't mount to anything. They ain't never about it. Ain't got but some bullshit. Or they counted me out that it wasn't worth anything or something. That's me talking now. I don't know what they thought.
Right.
But after a while, I used it for an advantage because I used to cut records or try to use studio, and I didn't have all the money to deal with it. And the guy would say, man, don't mess with him. That old Papa Rush, that's some Al Capone boys. He messed with them Al Capone. Those are what they thought I was in the mob, but I didn't even know it. I just had some dealing with his brother, and I was downtown working on Rush Street where a black guy wasn't working. So I got a chance to know the Red Fox and the Sammy Davis Jr., and I worked in them kind of clubs, and where black folks just didn't work. Because the club I was working at then on Rush Street, it said no color allowed. I was the only man in that black until I bought 2-piece band in it with me.
Wow, you really paved the way in that way.
Yeah, I kind of, Dick Gregg and I kind of paved the way for a lot of things that happened in Chicago in that direction.
So then we zoom forward into recent years. You were cast and you did a cameo in the film Dolemite with Eddie Murphy, and that was amazing. What was that experience like?
That was one of the best experiences that I ever had in my life. Let me tell you, I was so nervous about doing this because I didn't know, I'm just Bobby Rush. I didn't know, I'm not a movie star. I just do what I do as a musician. But I wanted to meet Eddie Murphy so bad, and I just always respect what Eddie did. He's highly successful in his as a stand-up comedian and his movies and what have you. And I told the producer, I told my manager to tell my producer, I said, man, when Eddie get here, man, I just wish I could just meet him. Sure enough, Eddie came, not knowing I said this about him. Before they could tell him what I wanted, he come in, and he's the star of the show. And he stopped the set and came up and hugged me, man. I'll never in life forget that. The man came up and hugged me and knew about me and where I'm coming from and the whole bit. He know about much about me, and I do about myself. And I was flattered that Eddie would take his ears and stature and star-wise. He's a superstar. Then he knows something about little old Bobby Rush, and God leave. And when he came up and he gave me a hug, and you saw that hug he gave me, they had the camera on, and they used that in the introduction. When I introduced him in the movie, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Murphy, Dolemite, I introduced him at Dolemite. That was me introducing him inside the movie as a club DJ, and they kept it. But that wasn't what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to do my song. And so they gave me the script to do that with, and I did it. And I guess the first one take, I don't think I did but one take of it. They liked it and said, wow, take. You know, they like what I done, and so I'm happy about it. So I think I did one or two takes of it, and so it was done, you know. And that was one of the greatest experiences, greatest time in my life, other than the time of winning the Grammy. I think those were some of the highlights of my life.
Those are very accomplished things as far as your career and longevity. I mean, you've been doing it almost 70 years or almost 400 albums. And what keeps you going? What's the secret to your longevity?
I don't know about no secret, but I know that one thing, that I'm blessed. I think what keeps me motivated is when people tell me what I can't do. When you tell me what I can't do, I think that's a bad thing to tell about a race, what he can't do. You know, it give me the strength to say, okay, let me show you that I can. And a lot of time, I think that gives me the strength to do something. Then I'm just like everybody else. I had my ups and downs, my valleys. But every time I fall into a valley, something or somebody come along and give me hope. You know, and my belief spiritually keeps me with plenty of hope, because that's something I believe in spiritually. They keep my hopes up high. Because I know a man or woman can live a long time without water or food, but you can't live long without hope. So I still have hope. I'm still learning. As of today, I'm still learning. And I'm still even every interview just get more excited. I don't ever get tired of interviews. I get physically tired because I'm only human, but I don't ever get tired of doing the interviews.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get fed up with them, you know.
Mhm. Well, it's always nice to be able to talk about someone as talented as yourself. And again, you're one of the last bluesmen standing, and that's a testament to that you keep going, that you keep putting out albums. I mean, many people could have retired, but you're not planning on retiring. You're just going to keep going and keep going.
No, and I'm blessed enough, or foolish enough, or whatever you want to call it, to have enough of records already recorded. If I can put out at least 5 or 6 more CDs without going to the studio, I have that much in the can I can put out and don't have to go to the studio. But I wasn't doing it because I thought something was going to happen. I don't know what happened to me. This record was already cut. I can do 3 or 4 records like this. No, I have to go back to the studio. Yet I could also do the band record. Like that record's already cut. You know, I got at least 150 songs already recorded.
Wow, we definitely are looking forward to records 398, 399, 400, and above from that material. And you have a good mix of blues and soul and R&B, funk and disco over the years. Do you consider blues your main style?
I think I'm a blues man. It's just that I got a rhythm with it. I'm a blues man, definitely, because my story is blues. But my approach musically can be Dutch and Western. It could be jazz. It could be R&B and funk. I got a little all of that added to me, because when I came up, there was many people. I like Jimmy Smith, Louis Jordan, E.B. King, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, all these guys that I love. Ray Charles, I love these guys. I guess you hear a lot of elements of these guys in me. You hear a little of this, a little of that, a little of that. And I got a piece of this and a piece of that. You put it in a bowl and you stir it up. You come up with a Bobby Ray soup. So you got a lot of different direction. And I love a lot of different kind of music. But I guess overall, story-wise, it's the blues. You know, because I talks about loving, being in love, and making love, and being loved, and all them kind of things, and having and have-nots. So I guess that's what the blues is all about, you know. And I'm pretty truthful to everything I do about the music. Because I lied about a couple of things. One thing I lied about, I said I wasn't going to sleep with a fat woman no more. I lied about that, you know.
Well, you were told that story from your dad, but you stuck with you. You wanted to see something too.
I know it. Let me say before I get too far in this, I don't want to throw away from your thoughts. But thank you for what you have done, what you're doing, what you plan to do, because what you say about me, what people perceive me to be. So thank you for being truthful to me and the music and the people who love the music and the idea of getting people to know more about me, learn about me, see me in another eye, different way. Hope that I try to be good at what I do. I know I can't satisfy everyone that I desire to satisfy in my music, but I try to be good at it. If you don't like me or disrespect what I do, you can say, well, I don't like old Bobby Rich, but damn, he good, and it's good enough for me.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, we really appreciate having you on and being able to talk to you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. I'm glad you like the record. I hope you like it at least. I'm glad you like the record.
Great record. And we hope to hear more of you by yourself and with the band.
Well, you're going to hear more. You're going to hear more. If you like this one, you can bet you I'm like a prize fighter. If a prize fighter hit a man and he wobbles, he gonna hit him again. So if the public wobble with this, I'm gonna hit you again with it.
I like that, Bobby. So what advice would you give someone that's up and coming as a musician today?
To be good at what you do and look at the mirror and tell the truth about yourself. You can't be warm or cold or in between. You got to be one or the other. Because everybody good, but everybody ain't different. Try to be good and try to be different. If you ain't different, you just good. And good don't make it. What makes it good and different? I tell every young man coming on, learn the business and learn to be good at what you do. And don't take no for an answer. But just be fair with yourself. Look in the mirror. Because if someone tells you you can jump over the moon, it sounds good, but you just can't jump over the moon. You got to be realistic about yourself and about the music and what you can or cannot do, especially black entertainers. You got to reach for the moon, but you got to be twice as good, and you know that. And if you don't believe it, just keep doing what you're doing because you don't get the same shot. It's the same as like that, but you don't get the same shot as a white musician. Because I remember when a wah-wah came out 50-some odd years ago, wah-wah was developed and invented because the white guy wanted to play like the black guy. Now you got the black guy buying the wah-wah trying to sound like a white guy who's trying to sound black. They don't want to be themselves, and black guys are walking around shame of themselves, or shame of their culture, shame of the this, and shame of the that. So I'm trying to make a difference. Let you know that just because you're black and play the blues, that don't make you less than something else. I know it's been written like that, but that don't make it less than something else. That don't make you more either. But you do have to cultivate yourself and be good at what you do. If you be good at what you do, people sooner or later going to respect it, what you're doing. That's
right. I agree. And so what is your musical legacy? What do you want to be remembered for most?
That I stood up to be who I am. I crossed over and never crossed out. I'm a black man who live in the same neighborhood that I was raised up in. I want to do better, but I want my people to do better also. And I'm also out now doing vote registration to let people go out and vote. Because they ain't been long where we couldn't vote. I know black lives matter, but that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about black votes matter most. That's what I'm about.
Well, I think the time is definitely now, especially as we have the voting season. Every vote counts.
Every vote counts. Every vote counts, And we just got to do better by each other's, regardless of whether you're black or white. We got to do better by each other, and we also have to beware of the bear with a monkey's head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. And then that, once the world kind of mellows out again, then we can just get back to the music.
Man, I hope I get to meet you, man. I hope I get to meet you. Let me thank. Now, I never met you before. Let me thank you for having such a pleasant attitude about people as a whole. And I can read pretty good between lines, because I'm sober. And I ain't did everything just right, but I had a beer in 1957, and I had them with muddy water, 3 of them in my lifetime. I never had a drink. I never had a smoke in my life other than the 3 times. I never smoked a cigarette, not alone a reefer. never got high any karma price. But that don't mean I'm so right, because I got so many other things wrong with me, man. Just lied about the big fat woman and all that stuff. It's,
Well, you got to be honest. You got to know your truth.
Man, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for interviewing me, and thank you for having such a open mind about the music itself, and keep loving music and everything you can do. Keep the blues alive. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Bob. We appreciate you. We'll circle back when this is out so you can hear it.
And be safe so we can get to see each other, hopefully. Okay.
We'll do that. You take care.
Okay. Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Thanks again. You've just listened to Deeper Grooves, Musicians on Music, hosted by Cliff Beach and sponsored by California Soul Music record label. I had the honor and pleasure of talking with the legendary Bobby Rest about his latest album, Rawer Than Raw, which you can hear everywhere streaming worldwide. I'd like to also thank our engineer, Tim Hall, for mixing and mastering this recording today. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, come back Tuesdays to hear more at www.californiasoulmusic.com/Deeper Grooves, or you can check us out at anchor.fm/Deeper Grooves. Until then, keep grooving, stay happy, stay safe. We'll talk soon.